I gotta be honest with you, this might be the most money I've ever had on a mic stand. It's a lot of cash. Welcome back to the Rebel Tech channel. I'm Justin, and in this video we're going to be talking about 2 shotguns and 1 pencil. That sounds a little innuendo-ish, but don't worry about it. It was not going to be no innuendos, no shaft-related thing. There might be some. I can't promise you anything. It's just whatever pops into my head. I'll try to keep it as clean as possible. So, Deity S-Mic2, Sennheiser MKH 416, and Oktava MK-012. A lot of cash sitting right above the camera. And what we're going to do, as I've done in my Sennheiser versus the Deity, my Sennheiser versus the Oktava, and now all 3 together, we're going to see if, 1, the comparison of the 2 shotguns in various types of scenarios, and then the comparison between a shotgun in general to the pencil. And it's going to be a quick video because I have other videos based around each one of these microphones, comparing them in all types of applications. So if you want anything specific that I might not cover in this, go check out those other videos and it will give you the answer that you're looking for. Also, as I pointed out in a couple of videos, Colonel Sean, great video on phase delay comparing pencil and shotgun microphones. So I'll link that down below. I'll leave a little iCard wherever they land on the screen. I can never figure that out. So maybe put some headphones on or use the best speakers that you have. Use the best quality that you can get your hands on, because it will give a better representation of what these microphones have to offer. Sometimes when you use your phone, it kind of like compresses it and doesn't give you that good of a audio quality. But if it's all you have, that's fine too. You could probably hear a good amount of it and notice some differences here and there. So right now we're in my little studio area, mildly treated room, as I've said in the past. And none of these microphones have windscreens on. Obviously, you don't need it right now because it's not exactly breezy in here. But the first test I'm going to do is an off-axis test. And I was going to do a part 2 between the Oktava and the Sennheiser, because some people asked for a off-axis test that I didn't cover in that video. But I'm just doing it in this. So if you were asking for that, it's in this video, and I'm going to do it right now. So right now we're going to go to 90 degrees and see the difference. Alright, so we're 90 degrees on the Deity side of the microphones, followed by the Oktava, followed by the Sennheiser on the opposing side, or opposite side. Opposing side, same thing. So this is the rejection of the 90 degree closer to the Deity. So I'm switching between the 3, and you're going to notice the 90 degree rejection of these microphones. Remember, they are hyper and super cardioid, so it picks up a little bit in the back, but the shield back here might reflect some of it, so keep that in mind. Alright, we're on the Sennheiser side, followed by the Oktava, followed by the Deity on the opposite side. And this is going to be the rejection off the side closer to the Sennheiser. Alright, so there's your off-axis test. Basically rejection in a mildly treated room. So if you're like in a living room possibly that has some soft surfaces that you won't reflect, a carpet on the floor, or if it's a soundstage or something that's treated, that's cool too. So these are all examples. This is not a soundstage. This is a very small room and it's a mildly treated room, so it's not going to be perfect. But it's the closest thing I got right now. So now we covered all our bases in this studio, and we're going to be going into other environments. Not too crazy, not too extensive. We're just going to be talking, giving you some examples, and just seeing the quality difference between the 3. Okie dokie, we are in the booth with all 3 microphones. They all have their windscreens on, they all have a pop filter in front of them, and of course we're going to be going through multiple styles of listening. And this video I'm very excited to listen to in post, because this section of this video is where all 3 will be going up against each other. It's a matter of tone now. It's a matter of how they sound, because in this application you can use either one. Any one you can choose from, and you could choose which one you like more. Now let me know down in the comments which one you like better. Of course, different things could arise that could affect your opinion, meaning with or without the windscreen, with or without a pop filter. So keep these things in mind when you're making your decision. And also the price. Remember, Deity and Oktava are the same price, essentially. And the Sennheiser is $1,000. So $350, $350, $1,000. So keep this in mind. And I will say this again, the Deity is not mine. It's a friend of mine's. He bought it and let me borrow it. So just so you know. All right, so the first test, plosives. We're going to do, since the pop filters are on, let's do, or the windscreens, I should say. Getting my popping ready. Deity. Oktava. Sennheiser. Now, with both the windscreen and the pop filter, Deity, Oktava, Sennheiser. Now we're going to go take these off and see how these things fare without them. And now we're going to the Deity, Oktava. I hate that sound. And the Sennheiser was the last one. Let's put this on and protect these things. Deity, Oktava, Sennheiser. I highly recommend using a pop filter. That's just basic part of that. Just use it, just in case. These are extreme situations, as I've said before, but this is something to consider using when doing voiceover work or whatever it may be. And now that they don't have the windscreens on, you're going to hear maybe a different tone, maybe a different style. Maybe it's something that you like more on one than the other. You notice the difference. And I feel that as I switch now again, you notice the price difference. You see that the Oktava is much closer to the Deity. They are on same playing field. They have a similar tone. Obviously, it's different tone, but similar as far as like quality. And then you go back to the Sennheiser, and it's almost night and day. All right, so it might be a tough choice for you. I have my choice. I'm partial to the Sennheiser because I love that microphone. I love this microphone. I'm glad I have it. I don't regret spending $1,000 on it, especially since it's made me a decent living, at least for a while, and then things happen in life and stuff like that. But regardless, if I was still working consistently in the audio world, which maybe one day I can again, but if I was working consistently, this thing would be at the forefront of my gear, and basically saying to people, "Hey, I got a 416. Let me let me whip out my 416 for you." Yeah, that's not going to go over very well. Imagine going into an interview saying like, oh, you're an audio person. You have your own gear. You have a Zoom F6. You have a Sennheiser MKH 416. Oh, could you whip out your 416 for me? That would be a weird conversation, I gotta admit. Could you whip out your 416 for me? I think that sounds better than, can you whip out your Oktava or whip out your Deity? Even though whip out your Deity. That Deity, make that t-shirt. Whip out your Deity. Yeah. That's the t-shirt. That's what you got to put out. I want credit for that too. Just if Deity watches this, whip out your Deity on your t-shirts. Just whip it out. Whip it out. Now we're going to go and do some more tests on untreated rooms and in the field. All right, so we're in the untreated room for the pencil condenser microphone versus the shotgun microphone videos. And obviously, I've gone through all types of configurations of which microphone versus which microphone. And obviously, I've said this before, there are plenty of scenarios and plenty of environments that you will encounter, but this is what I have access to and the best example I could give to you right now. Maybe one day I'll revisit this and give you more examples, more environments to possibly encounter. But here's the thing. If you have one reflective surface, you understand most of those concepts. You understand that the basics of it is phase delay is same frequencies coming together, phasing each other out, becoming essentially silent or just muffled or whatever it is. That's what the acoustic tubes on the, or acoustic slots, I call them tubes for some reason, because it looks like a tube, that's why. Acoustic slots on the side of the shotgun microphone are for that. And where they're strongest and where they work is outside when they're rejecting noise outside of where you're pointing the microphone. Inside is where your pencil condenser microphones come into play, and they are stronger. They don't have the acoustic slots to reject those noises. But they also don't have those acoustic slots to reject those noises, which is a give and take. It's one of those things of having the right tool for the job. So if you're just starting out, if you're building up a decent arsenal, or even if you've been doing it for a while and you're looking for a good upgrade without breaking the bank, those two are a good combination. And that's what these videos are for, to inform you on the quality that you're going to get. In my opinion, the Sennheiser is much more than the rest of them. And of course, there are plenty of other pencil condenser microphones made by Sennheiser as well that are better than the Oktava. But for me, I needed a budget one. I needed one that was at a point where I'm at and where I can afford it, and also maybe skill-wise. I might not want to spend $1,000, maybe even $1,200 on a pencil condenser microphone because, to be honest, maybe one day I might not use it. I don't know. I don't know what life has for me in the future, so we'll see what happens. I don't know for sure if it really affects the shotgun microphones that much. It might be very subtle, and it might not be something that's crazy in quality, especially when you're putting it on YouTube. You might notice a dip in quality anyway, but just put on some headphones for these tests and see if you notice a difference. Maybe if you have a better trained ear, like sometimes I do. Sometimes I have a better trained ear, sometimes I'm just dopey. So if you have a good trained ear, this would be easier for you to understand. If you don't, then maybe it won't matter. Maybe you just say, hey, it doesn't really sound much different, which is cool, it's fine. So now we're going to do that off-axis test, and possibly one of the last ones I do with these, because I need a break from these, because it's been a lot of testing and then a lot of takes. So let's do 90 degrees. The Deity's on this side and the Sennheiser's on this side with the Oktava in the center. And I'm going to do 90, 90, and 180. Here we go. Alright, so we're 90 degrees to the Deity, and the rest of them, of course, we're closer to the Deity, about 2 feet away, and maybe a little bit more on each of the other ones. And this is going to be your off-axis rejection at 90 degrees for these microphones. Here is the off-axis rejection on the Sennheiser side, with the Oktava and the Deity being a little further away. And this is what you're going to hear with the rejection of sound at 90 degrees to these microphones. And finally, at 2 feet away from the rear of these microphones, here is your off-axis rejection. All of these being the supercardioid on the shotguns and the hypercardioid on the pencil condenser microphone have a little bit of pickup on the back, just by the nature of the pickup pattern. Still haven't understood why they have that, or why it may be a thing. Maybe it's just how that it's warped could be the reason, but I don't know for sure. Maybe if you know in the comments why a super and hyper have those, let me know. Alright, so there's your off-axis rejection. and coloration, I think it's called. And off to the next test. Alright, so this is the field test between all three of the Deity S-Mic2, Sennheiser MKH 416, and the Oktava MK-012. 2 shotgun microphones and 1 small diaphragm. And this is the situation, as I spoken about before, where the shotguns are stronger than the Oktava. As I can see, I had to lower the gain on the Oktava a lot because when the wind hits it, it just spikes. And of course, I don't have a dead cat for it. I have something I'm going to try, but I don't know if it's going to work. So we'll try it out in a little bit and see if you notice a difference. I won't put any blimp on the... I won't put a blimp on the Deity or the Sennheiser. That's already been done in the Sennheiser versus the Deity video, so go check that out if you want that example of a blimp being used on those microphones. But I will put a possible dead cat on the Oktava so you can understand maybe a better example of the rejection of sound, or rejection of wind, I should say. But keep in mind those acoustic slots, because those acoustic slots are going to be key in rejecting a lot of the background noise. Not necessarily the wind, but the background noise as well. Ooh, yeah. That's some good noise. I wish I had one of those, forget it, I need to get this over with. Okay, so we have the dead cat on the Oktava right now, and you're gonna notice that there's a lot more rejection of the wind with that on, as opposed to the regular foam windscreen, which is basically nothing. There's a good gust of wind right there, so you notice some rejection. A lot better than it was. I could even tell right now just looking at the wave or the spike in audio gain. So something to consider. Get yourself a dead cat for your Oktava or pencil condenser microphone if you're working outside with it. I don't recommend using it outside, but you can use it outside. This is actually the first time I've used it outside, and from the level and not listening to it, sure, it sounds fine. Maybe the rejection of noise is going to be the issue, which is the point of a shotgun microphone with those acoustic slots, as I mentioned before. This look on my face is a regret of being out here at this time. I should have done this earlier, but I'm a glutton for punishment, apparently. Is the wind gonna let me do it? Let me finish this, please. Oh, that's a little bit of background light too. So there's your example with a dead cat on the Oktava. I got mine through it actually came with one of my newer on top of the camera microphones, and it fits just fine on top of that. So you can get that, and I'll leave a link down below for it. So keep that in mind. You could get a microphone and a dead cat that could fit it. It's like a $25, $30 microphone, so it's worth the investment if you want something just as a backup or whatever it may be. Maybe some better audio for your camera if you need that. So all this stuff to keep in mind. And that is it. Part 2 to my pencil condenser microphone compared to a shotgun microphone. And it really isn't a matter of which one is better as far as quality is concerned. Of course, the Oktava is much lesser of a microphone than the Sennheiser, but in the proper applications, the pencil condenser microphone definitely is stronger in those reflective surfaces areas because it's made for that. It's shotgun microphone is restricted by having an extra bit, meaning the acoustic slots that create phase delay, all that stuff that we spoke about in the video. And of course, as I said before, Colonel Sean has a great video out about phase delay and stuff like that. And I have my first video for this that goes into it a little bit, but he goes a little bit more into the science stuff, so I'll leave a link to that down below for you guys and check it out. He's a cool guy, good channel, good vibes and all that stuff. So basically the point of this is use the right tool for the right job in the right scenario. So know where you are in your career, meaning the Sennheiser is at $1,000. I have the Sennheiser and the Oktava. But if you're really just starting out, the Oktava and the Deity are great for someone who's just upgrading, making that first upgrade to something more professional. Because at $360 and $350-ish, right around $700 total, it's $300 less than just a shotgun, meaning the Sennheiser. You might lose a little bit of quality, but not enough that it's really gonna affect your work. You might have to do a little bit more post-processing and post-work, but you save a little bit of cash and you get some good experience with editing and getting more used to the work that you're doing. Now, when you get a little bit more professional and you're working on bigger shoots, maybe think about investing first in your shotgun microphone or your pencil condenser microphone, depending on what you're doing. If you're doing more interview stuff inside and you're doing things that have a lot of reflective surfaces, maybe think about recording on a higher budget one for those. And on the opposite side, if you do more outside stuff or in the booth stuff, if you like having a shotgun microphone as your voiceover microphone, the Sennheiser will be your choice. And that all being said, thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed it. Hopefully it was informative and hopefully you guys got something out of this. And I really enjoy the sound of that Deity. And it really is a nice microphone. A little bit jealous that I don't have one, but not enough that I would go ahead and spend money on it, considering I do have the Sennheiser and that's a better microphone. At least in my opinion. Let me know down in the comments what you think. And of course, if you liked the video, please hit the like button. And if you want, you can go check out my stream. I'm moving back to Twitch now. I just feel that it's a platform that I want to build more so than building a streaming platform here. So I'm going to separate those worlds, the edited content on my YouTube channel and my streaming on Twitch. So if you want to see the stream every Wednesday and Saturday, all on Twitch, twitch.tv/ghettohappy. And I do the same thing that I've been doing the whole time, just on a different platform. Dot-to-dot art, followed by playing a video game, whatever it is, whatever I decide to do. And usually it's later in the afternoon on Wednesdays and earlier on Saturdays. Depending on what's going on, I'll leave a schedule up and maybe put out a video in the future on it. And until next time, be safe, be kind. I'll see you in the next video.
No, stop it. No. You can't reach me! Base! Base! This is base! You can't get up here!